I think there's a bit of an issue on the video, but doesn't matter. Okay, Mandi, please, about yourself, and then a minute for me to talk about what's coming up. And then after that, it's language and mediation. So please.
I'm coming from Zakynthos, which is an island in Ionian Sea in Greece. I'm very happy to participate in the circle the last 3 months. I'm a mediator, which is a choice I've made lately to be only mediator. I had many jobs. I'm a mediator, I'm a mother, which I like to be for a lifetime. It's a place I find myself very comfortable. And my meaning is very comfortable also there.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. So basically what I'll do is just a minute, basic, information about what I do. Of course, social media posts, definitely. Mediatorvikram.com. You can always find information there. This was a book that I'd contributed to, where I tried to put all the things that I did on terms of shows and all. So because otherwise no one even reads my post. So I said, let's put it in a book also. And of course, the World Mediation Circle, which is going to be the focus area now. Support the edutainment and what's been happening earlier. I mean, if there are more than about 500 videos now, so there is kind of an idea of where to click and find the YouTube playlists and things like that. So I think that's about it. And what's happening is on 24th, there's a discussion on mediators and the war in Ukraine, because 24th February, Russia invaded Ukraine. So just experiences of mediators in relation to that, personal, professional. And of course, on Women's Day, there'll be just a discussion on women in mediation. Last year, I think there were about 25 women from I think 17 countries. Let's see how many we have now. So Mandi, thank you very much. All yours, language and mediation. Please.
Before I start, is it my view, or I have many pictures in my picture?
It's a problem with your video somewhere. Right now you're frozen, your video is frozen, but earlier there was some, it wasn't too clear.
Okay, you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Could you help me share
the PowerPoint?
My PowerPoint.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's the one?
Part of it. And I can change the pictures.
No. If I'm presenting, I'll be. You just tell me when to choose shift. I'll choose. Give me a minute. Yes, Mandi, please go ahead. You can tell me when to shift. I can shift.
You shift?
Yeah.
Okay. It was supposed to have some letters here. It's the first page I have chosen for speaking about language. to be honest, at first I had this Greek attitude to use my language as the language of the sciences and all these ideas, and to speak about the Greek language. But while I was working on that, I realized that I prefer to speak as a mediator, which is not something Greek or something different or special. So I decided to speak in English, which I use in a very basic level. But I have realized the last period that helps me to be more authentic and more sincere in communication, which I believe is something important for a mediator to do. So I will speak in very simple words and in English. And I will also use pictures, because while I was collecting pictures for my presentation, I realized that I see mediation everywhere, in any picture, in any color, in any creature, any landscape. I can see and speak about mediation. So starting this PowerPoint has some very basic things about what language and communication is. And after that, I will speak by heart through the pictures I've selected. That's the idea. So the technology helps me very much, because they don't show not even the few words I've selected to say. So I will say all by heart. Language is a tool, is a code, is a step or a path or a highway. It is freedom for some people, or it is a limit to others. It is a weapon when you want to make war. It is anything. Language is anything. A person who uses the language it's anything we are, anything we want to be, anything we can be, anything we want to show, or anything we want to hide. Language is unlimited, and at the same time very limited. Language is what the person who uses it or the person who receives it is. It is something so unlimited, which gives many space for misunderstandings. People are lost in translation, even if they talk in the same language, or can be very connected, even if they don't exchange not even one word. It can be a behavior, it can be words, it can be meanings, ideas, feelings. It can be anything. It can be conscious, it can be unconscious. We can be users of it, or it can be something bigger than us when it is the unconscious. We choose the language we use, but we don't choose what the other person receives from the choice we make, because everybody is listening and taking what wants to hear and take. So it is a kind of love, making love between creators, and it is something that can change in time. It can be present, it can be past, it can be future. Where our mind is. So it's a code which people have agreed to use to communicate. That's the very basic meaning of language. It is something that can be formal or informal. It can be specific, complicated, but it is a code. It is an agreement. In this picture, which I choose, I see these dimensions of language, which is which can be a rope, it can be a sail, it can be the sea, it can be the boat that takes you somewhere. It can be freedom, it can be anything. A sailing boat is something that a man sails, but also needs air and other elements, the sea. So it is what I was telling about, that language is not something by itself. It is many things as they work together at the same time.
You'll have to keep telling me when to move. Should I move on my own this thing, or you want to tell me when to?
I do it by yourself. It's okay.
No, you'll have to tell me when you want me to move to the next slide.
No, it's moving, it's flowing. So it's you flow the pictures and I flow the.
It's supposed to be
about the pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's cooperate.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we talk together. So
yep.
you participate in the discussion in this way.
Yeah. So you want to talk about this picture?
This picture is something common, has common but very different aspects of the previous, which means that we have a boat again, but we need a tool to move it faster, but also slowly by the hands. It can be moved slowly by the hands or by the sea. It needs less elements. It's simpler, but it also works. This aspect of language is the freedom to travel, to contact between places, to use the wings, like the language, to fly and to go somewhere, which is one beautiful use of the language also, when it's a tool of freedom. The frame is an important aspect of the language, which means that sometimes, even if we have a very big picture, which is full of air, which is full of colors, full of fire, things that come from inside, and we want to give them to go in upper levels of communication. It still is a frame, and it is if it is very close, the point of view when we talk, even if we have the tools, even if we have the knowledge, even if we are very capable on using the language, if we have a close frame, if we have close mind, it can't show us the big picture, not a very big view. So it comes from the heart. The fire comes from the heart and the mind. So it is very important to be open, the frame to be open, so it can give a view to the people we talk with, and not only to see us in the picture or a very close aspect of us, which is a kind or it's the purpose we have when we talk. If it is to see and show ourselves, or to show something through our words. The power of the language is to be able to go very deep in people's ears, or deeper in people's minds and people's heart. So it's something that we give, but we need an ear to listen, and not only an open heart and mind for the speaker, but also an open mind, heart, and ears for the listener, so he can take what we want to communicate. It is a symphony of words. It is a synthesis, the language of what we have in mind and in our heart, and the way we want to act. And this synthesis the words we use and the way we express it. The violin sometimes is a kind of sound which is very strong, but it can be also a guitar who's playing the composition, or any instrument, which means that in language we have the theory, we make the synthesis, but we have to execute also this melody, which is very important to be nice played, to be kindly played, to be to have also the instruments to do that, which is the expression of the language. So it's the theory, the synthesis, and the expression through the instrument, which is the person who is playing the music of the language.
I'm coming back to this. For a moment, I just had come out of it. Give me a second, okay? Yes, you please continue. You were saying something.
I was talking about the synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
The synthesis, which is a Greek word used for melody, mm-hmm. and for anything that combines things. Which is important in the language. Mm-hmm. I mean, language is a combination, is a synthesis. It has fantasy, inspiration, sound, but also pose.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, the problem that I'm facing is that you have words written there, but why don't the words come in when we do the slideshow? I was trying to figure that out. Because when I see a slideshow,
it's okay.
Your slides have
it's
something.
Okay, because it's very funny, but though I didn't know we would have this technical problem, I had taken the decision not to speak from words and text, but mostly from pictures. So I'm very okay with the pictures.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that the pictures that you have, why does the text not show? I mean, why would that not happen? So what we can do is, let's not do the slideshow. Let me just put this up as your, because when I see this, let's see at least what you've written, because that's also important. So let's do that. Because yep. Because you have, yeah, because you have some 64 slides. The problem is that we have limited time, so we'll have to move a little faster. Yeah, as action.
Yeah. Language is action. Action is when we have something in mind and we put it in words and take it off. So it's action. Sometimes through language we give the other participant in the dialogue the right to believe that from what we say we will act on it. So it's not only words, it's not only what we say at that moment. Sometimes it is much more important to become action, otherwise language is untrustful. Language is a phenomenon, which is, in my opinion, it's something that happened like a phenomenon in the nature. Before we decide that we use and we need this code, it was something that came up like there were, like a river that falls and becomes a waterfall. It was something that was inside the human beings, such as other creatures, and came out because it is just something, a phenomenon. It is common that it is a practice. It comes from knowledge. We are educated on it. To use the specific words, the specific kind of language, the right way to talk, the right way to communicate, to say the words. But this is not for sure what makes a language important.
And at some point, you're also going to connect it to mediation at some point, right? Okay, so after this, there's no text. So what I'll do is now I can start the slideshow because there's no text after this. Well, it's nice to see the whole picture on the screen. So let's see where it'll go.
Is it going to be so fast?
Yeah, it has to. There is no time now. Yeah, please.
That's what I would say after the waterfall, is that the language is like the flower. It's the first thing that came in earth, which was not necessary. Flowers are not necessary. They are beauty. They are expression. They are feelings. They touch feelings. They are touching. They are beautiful. So language is like a flower. It's like something we offer, something we smell, something we touch. It has so many colors, so many shapes, so many differences. I'm sure they could be flowers, the languages. It can be also something very simple, something very useful to make, like we make from some beans the bread, which is necessary to survive. Language is also a tool, very simple and necessary to have them very basic communication. It's very important and very necessary for that reason, but it is still a flower.
But are the flowers necessary for survival or not?
Sorry?
Are the flowers necessary for survival or not? Or only the bread?
The flowers are necessary only when they have the seeds in them to make new flowers, new plants. It is also necessary for the bees to come close and take to go to the flower and then travel with the seeds to other places. So it is you can find the utility also. Language can be a branch, so we can, like a bird, rest. It's something that can be very small, very useful, very common, very useful tool. It can be a tree with flowers. It can be a forest. When many people communicate, and when you are able to see the big picture, you can see a forest, not only a branch, not only a tree. You can see a forest. Sometimes it can be cold. Sometimes it can be cloudy. I mean, the language can have all the temperatures of the person who talks, and though we may use the same words, it can be a cold message for the person who receives it, or it can be cloudy, so even if we speak, maybe somebody cannot understand what we say. It can be a very beautiful place in our home with a very beautiful view, a place to become one with the nature, with the others, and also a safe place like home. Language also can be something very complicated and very difficult to let people communicate when it's like this labyrinthos, which is in mind, in heart, and it becomes language of communication. And many times people are lost in this labyrinthos. And lose the way out, the exit. It can be something very sensitive and very in detailed. When we want to go very close to somebody, when we want to communicate in a very close and deep level, we can see very slight aspects and points in the other person's opinion, which is the way we use the language, the purpose we use the language. That's the color of communication. It is calming. It can be passionate and complicated. It can be like the seasons. It combines with our mood. It can be melancholic, like autumn. It can be cold, as we saw before in winter. It can be spring, when we want to bring in life new things, and in relationships new things when we communicate. It can be just a slight thing of water, a drop. It can be just a drop. can be just one word, which may be important, may be not important. If we are very thirsty, even one drop of water can be very important. If we are not thirsty, it is not something valuable. It can be limited, like a lake. When we want to have a very specific topic to talk about, or to not let others come very close to us, but it can be a sea. No, a pool. It can be a pool. It can be very limited, and like a box. Language can be sometimes like a box for the person, for the personality of who talks. It can also be a sea, which is huge, which is it's a space for many people. It can be underwater, which means language can go under the surface. It is the sea to me it can be wild, it can be angry, it can be dangerous. It can cover when the language is angry. It can cover the beautiful blue color that every person is, and it can be an obstacle to their real communication. It can be joy, it can be fun, game, a play. Language is also can be a desert when there is no point and you can't reach something when you talk with somebody without the willing to communicate. It can be distant. It can be dangerous. More dangerous.
And more dangerous.
Even more dangerous. It can be very cute. It can be very kind. It can be a way for people to ask for help or to admit their weakness, to not feel lonely. it can be all kind of feelings and sadness and loneliness. It may be not at all necessary. It's times that language can't give, or it is not necessary to use it to give the feelings that are very obvious. Eyes, we at the pandemic had a very long period that we communicated only through eyes, and language and the mouth that expresses. So the language was the less used tool of communication. Eyes are the part of the body that people have exactly the same from the moment we are born, from the birth until the death. The eyes don't change, and the eyes are, I think, not even the size of the eyes change. So it is a way to talk with a child. The eyes is the way to talk with a child inside every person, and we can see in his eyes the child who's in this person. The hands is a very common and beautiful and characteristic way of speaking, of expressing and communicating. All kind of all types of hand expressions are it's very common and very symbolic. Sometimes we say that the best agreement is given with hands, and we don't need not papers and not agreements and lawyers and all these things. We just give hands. It was something very, a very important code of language. It is a power. Language is a power also, and it is a power useful for leaders. It can be something that makes people have somebody else for them, to express them, to talk for them, to be their opinion and their wills. It is a very, very strong power on people. As a tool, it can go very close. It can you can see it very deep in people, in things, in situations, in disputes.
But at some point, Mandi, are you separately going to be talking about language and mediation? Because there will be, at what point do you want to do that? Because there are about 15 minutes, 14 minutes there. So I don't know how many more slides there are, because I can't see the slides here. But whenever you want, you can move there. We can always come back. Whatever, I'll let you go the way you want to.
Yeah. The language can give the opportunity to people to look further and to look closer, as we saw before. It can be different, but it still is an umbrella. So it is a communication, and it is protective from rain, or what rain may be. It can cure. It can cure. It can travel people in places. It can connect.
Be back.
It can listen, you can listen through language in deeper things that heart has to say. It can make things match and connect. It can connect pieces. It can be a sweet thing in life. It can be beauty and hope. It can be a bridge between lands, to connect them, to bring them together, to pass from one side to the other. It can be helpful for people to carry the weights of life. It can bring clouds in life. It can bring problems, wrong words, wrong timing. It can also open the roof to see what is the real meaning. It can take open the box over the head and connect with a big picture of the nature. It can be inspiring, a light when somebody has no energy and has no light from himself. It can be the voice of a child who can't speak. It can be awareness. It can bring people to wake up, to see and live. It can be something that may take pollutive sensitives or situations with some good words, toxic feelings and toxic situations can be cleaned up with the right words at the right time, from the right purpose. It can be a beautiful, safe road to reach somewhere, to be able to travel your thoughts and your words and your feelings and communicate with people. It can focus to things and make them clear. It can be very helpful for people who can't express themselves or can't see, to take them up like a mother, to see out of the window and not the wall. It can be the stick. You hit the ball to reach the whole, the language.
And this seems to be the last slide. So,
So if you take them back, if you please.
Yeah.
In just 5 minutes.
Take them back. You want to do it again?
Yeah.
Okay. But where does mediation come in? Is it going to come in somewhere there? What's the plan? Or it's just about the communication?
Let's see if it's played, if it's mediation somewhere in all these things we said. Okay.
Perfect. So now we have to, Elyse will have to wait for another 1 hour.
No, it will be much longer if you have fast fingers.
I can go very fast. Tell me. Yes.
Go fast. I can speak fast.
Okay, fast. Yes.
Let's synchronize.
Yep. Yep.
And welcome, Elyse.
Yeah, we'll welcome her. We'll welcome her. You want to finish your this thing? You want to talk about this picture? Okay, well, let me. You're not on the picture. Okay. Give me a second. Let me put that picture up that you. Yes.
That's not the first picture.
First was those dots that you had. This one. This is the first?
Yeah.
Yep.
So mediation is like we have all these dots and we can make anything. Dots are the people and the disputes, and we can, through mediation, make any picture people want to. We can create faces, landscapes, any thing the participants want.
Okay.
Let's go.
Fast. Okay. This. What was this?
Mediation, I mean, mediation can take dots and make pixels, can take pixels or dots and make images.
Perfect.
May take codes and make up a meaning. Can take sails and ropes and make a journey. Can take this thing, I don't know the name, and make the boat go fast.
Or, okay, let me talk about that. Yes, where are we? There's nothing here.
Mediations can be the air for the birds to fly. Can be the aerostato for the fire of the heart to fly. Can be the ear for the person who wants to talk. Can be the composer to take people and notes and situations and disputes and make melody. Can be the path to walk, to run, to go wherever. Can be the river where the waterfall can go. Can be the blackboard to write what we think. Or the chalk. Can be the flower to make a conversation much more beautiful than just the necessary. Can be the hand that touches this thing which is useful for others, but for mediation, it is not only useful, it is the touch. It's not useful, but it also has a beautiful touch. It can be the branch for people to hold somebody, to help them rest and go on. It can be the beauty in a tree which has not even leaves. It can clear the clouds to be able to see the forest. It can help you make ski in a beautiful mountain with all these trees, to slide and to not stuck. It can be this beautiful place to sit down and sit and talk. It can help you get out of this labyrinthos and find the exit and the way out of the dispute. It can be these very sensitive things that we can't see, but through mediation we go so close to things that we can see details.
The only thing, Mandy, is that because there are 2 minutes left, we'll have to first ask Elyse what her situation is. Elyse, the way Mandy is going, it might take another 5 minutes. What do you want to do, Elyse?
Hey guys, that's fine.
Elyse, why don't you participate and tell me what you see in mediation?
No, Mandy, he has to give her presentation. We'll get her involved in your presentation later.
I asked her help.
No, we have 2 minutes on your thing, so we have to go in time for her presentation. So that's why the time factor is a bit of an issue. But she's give you another 3 minutes. So please.
Mediation is passion. Mediation is the fall of the leaves. Is drops of people's opinions and thoughts that all together become in a safe place, water, and in a safe place as a lake or as a pool or as a sea. Come on. It can go under the surface of things. It can let the waves come out. It can help people enjoy the dialogue. Gives water to people that suffer from thirst, of communication. It can bring people closer, not to seem that the difficulties so high and distant. It can make them feel safe from the participants. They feel that they are dangerous to them. The birds live, the wild birds live, and the animals, they don't attack. There is somebody there to help you be safe, the mediator. It can help you feel trust. It can be there to help you walk, to help you, though you feel weak, to take the sadness or listen to the sadness, to be what you want, to be what you feel. To feel free to feel whatever you want in mediation. In mediation, your look, your eyes are very important. You see and you listen, you touch people, you support them. Through mediation, you connect. You make agreements. You show your hands, which are the reason we use hands is because in very ancient times people showed hands for the other person to see that there is no gun or a rock or something. So to show your hands is a safe sign. that you can find in a peaceful way. You can have a leader in your effort to solve a problem, to help you go close to things, to see things that you are afraid to see alone, to watch where an agreement and the resolution can lead you to a better place, to accept you as a different person as you are, to cure, to let you fly, to connect, to help, to listen to your heart, to connect. It's a sweet procedure, a beautiful procedure. It's a bridge. It's a help. It's communication. It's open air, unlimited. It's a light and inspiration. It's your child, which has a voice and you can't hear it. It's awareness. It's untoxic. It cleans toxic situations and feelings. It is a beautiful road, a huge, safe, beautiful road that leads you to a better place. It is a clear view, clear mind, helps you see clearly things. It helps you see out of the window. It helps you hit the ball and find the hole.
Yeah.
It's you, dear Vikram.
Yes. Yes, you did not have to show that to me now. Okay, so now basically, Mandi, we'll have to just kind of wrap it up and let's get Elyse after that in. So if you want to conclude, you want to, whatever.
My conclude is just that in the 2 words, mediation is everything. Language is everything. We can be anything we want, anything we choose. Mediation can be anything we want, anything we choose.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So we have, that's all. You want to conclude at that? All right. So let's get Elyse in first. She can say hi to you. Elyse, you want to come in?
Hi, Mandi. Hi, Vikram.
Hi, Elyse. First of all, am I pronouncing it correctly? Elyse is all right?
Yes, Elyse.
Great. Elyse. Okay, perfect. So the thing with Mandi was, of course.
It's so beautiful, the tree you are under. It would be perfect to have that kind of place to mediate under a tree.
I like this area. I have another one across the room too, on both ends.
Nice.
I like to feel like I'm outside.
That's very nice. Hope you enjoy your talk.
Thank you.
It just takes me 1 second to get into the next streaming. It's a not so difficult. So thank you very much, Mandi.
You're welcome. I was very happy to participate.
It was obviously, it was going to be interesting. I knew it was going to be interesting. You'll bring in something interesting out of that. So thank you very much. And at this point, we can close the session. And obviously, the last day, we can have a discussion on what people took from